special guest on Mic Check today is, of course, none other than singer Edi Fitzroy, born Fitzroy Edwards, who in the 1970s started a career at the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation, working as an accounts clerk. And in his spare time, he would sing over dubs and play them back using their station's equipment. And the year 1975, Edi met JBC studio engineer. We're talking about the original Mikey Dread, who had become very popular for his show Dread at the Control. And Mikey was also a producer. And one day a listener heard Edi Fitzroy sing and told him she would finance his first recording. Fitzroy's first song, Miss Molly Collie, broke into the Jamaica top 10 as a result of Dread's patronage, and the hits kept coming, including African Religion, Gun and Styley, leading to a tour of the UK with Mikey Dread and the Clash in 1980. And on returning to Jamaica, Fitzroy began working with other producers and recorded Bad Boy. For Musical Ambassador, he recorded an album and enjoyed a massive hit with Check For You Once, the first of 4 number 1 songs on the Jamaican charts. This was followed by Youth Man in Penitentiary and Have You Ever. The success led to a performance at the 1984 Sunsplash Festival and his commitment to equality for women. And his commitment was evident in the hit Princess Black. And he was also dubbed Jamaica's most socially conscious singer. His follow-up, a rework of The Gun, enjoyed a prolonged stay on the charts, breaking all previous records for longevity. And Fitzroy performed on Jamaica's contribution to the land of Africa. He provided vocals alongside Gregory Isaacs, Freddie McGregor, Muta Baruka, Tristan Palmer, Bunny Ruggs, David Hines, and of course the I-Trees. And after the release of his 1993 album, Deep in My Culture, Fitzroy toured the U.S., and in the mid-90s, he also started his own label, Confidence. And in 2001, a compilation of his early songs entitled First Class Citizen came out, and this was on the Musical Ambassador label. And in 2006 saw the release of the Best of Edi Fitzroy, the Musical Ambassador years. And in 2015 saw the re-release of the original 1982 album, Check For You Once, this time under the title Check For You Once Revisited. So there you have it. A very special guest on Mic Check, Edi Fitzroy.
I take you at your own little lost time. I thinking everything would be alright.
So let me do this and go all the way down to Kingston, Jamaica, and welcome the former accountant clerk at station JBC. As a matter of fact, he transitioned from just being an accountant, Anthony, to working behind the microphones at JBC. Yeah, man, he attended school down there in a little place in eastern Jamaica called Portland, right on the beach. It's known as Titchfield High School. Edi Fitzroy, welcome back, sir.
Yeah, man. Greetings, man. You hear me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, and I hope you heard what Anthony Turner had to say about you spending time at JBC as an accounting clerk and all the good things. Welcome to Mic Check, my friend. How is everything?
Yeah, man. Respect everything is cool, you know. Sometimes sitting here writing some songs.
Yes.
Finished off my new album, so it's released sometime next year. Produced by the Musical Ambassador. Yeah. And this album, I think, is one of my best albums too.
Wow.
Because in the past, I've like Check For You Once album, I've Deep in the Culture. Hello? I've like Deep in the Culture album, Pollution.
Right.
So many albums, over 10, 12 albums.
Wow.
About 245.
Wow. Take us back though, Edi Fitzroy. What was it like for a young Edi Fitzroy attending Titchfield High School in Portland? Tell us a little about those days, no?
Well, them days are kind of cool, you know. It's not like now. We are youth and youth, them, you know. We're not to all that focusing. It's more like badness. But in those days, you know, we as young youths then focus like on construction things, you know. The only thing in them times was education and ganja. They don't know. But no, we kill all kind of things at the high school and coke, crack, everything.
Right.
Drinking alcohol and something. I mean, they don't really care about studying, you know. So just high school, graduate, and that's it.
They're gone.
We make sure that we with a certificate. It's like O level. Right?
Right.
For real.
Now, let's fast forward to station JBC, the Blighted station of Jamaica. You worked at JBC first as an accountant. Now, I don't know if you were singing before then, but when you went to JBC, what was it like at JBC? Because I think it was only JBC and RJR in Jamaica at the time, correct?
At the time, right.
Now, what was it like for a young Edi Fitzroy going into JBC?
I want to tell you, I can break it down. I worked for about 2 months, 3 months to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy, that used to go to Western Commercial Institute in Dudley, who I know then, because we were attending the same institution doing accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And I called him one day and tell him so I can't get to work,
Mm-hmm.
So come, a guy named James Wright leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So you can feel us because the financial control at the time of his brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So to come like that. And it was so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was the only youth, or the only individual who worked at JBC when I get up. No, anything below Max Avenue, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know Rich Theater, right?
Right, yes.
Anything below Rich Theater,
Mm-hmm.
them see as a criminal. I'm like, you could have brought like His Majesty. They're not employing you.
Wow.
That's kind of discrimination at the time. Because I'm kind of enough you not get to have the more levels and things. But
Mm-hmm.
to get a job at the time,
Mm-hmm.
you have to use the uptown address if you know somebody live, if you have a family live uptown.
Right.
So you use the address and them people and them days, just get the job like that,
Mm-hmm.
You do the interview,
Mm-hmm.
so them start then they call you.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do now, them come check the address, to make sure you live there. You understand? Right now, like if I'm going to do an interview, and that you just put that address and a band about check. No, then they come check for you.
Wow.
So it was very exciting as a young youth. At the time I was only about 17 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't start working because the working age at the time was 18 and over.
Right.
But you are impressed the financial control. I think his name is Mr. Astandale, is now deceased.
Right.
It was so impressive, when I finished the interview and look.
Right.
Because the school that I went to, they put away from Fishfield, Western Commercial Institute.
Mm-hmm.
They always put out the best students.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
it was great some work in there.
All right. Now you're at station JBC, Eddie, because we want to get a lot of information out there. You're at station JBC. Who were some of the jocks on air? Because you're now working as an accountant, and I may guess that in the back of your head you want to be a singer too. But who were some of the jocks on radio at JBC at the time?
Well, you have people like Winston Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Winston Barnes, Eula Aldridge, Glaston Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
Elaine Wint, Faye Ellington.
Right.
That is the early 70s coming down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a guy named Dan Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say again now. Yeah, and a guy named...
E.T. Earl Thompson.
Get him name,
What about E.T., the dread at the control?
Never Thompson came a little bit down in the 70s.
Right.
He was in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this jockey work, and then he returned to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about it, he started to advertise, started to announce on the airport, come straight into JBC. Right? Yeah, man. And then they have Fry too, which is a Jeff Dixon then.
Excuse me.
Oh, the man there. The man is so great. The man couldn't walk straight.
Now, Eddie.
Migrate.
No, Eddie. Let's transition now. You're at JBC. You're among some great folks there at JBC. What got you into singing? When did you know you were a singer?
Well, to be frank, I'm from a musical family. My father was scared of music. They have a state called County Ajax back in the 50s.
What's your dad's name?
County Ajax.
Count Ajax, okay.
Count teardrops, like in tears.
Teardrops, okay.
Yeah. So at the time, these are Delco days. So electricity, them kind of can't have limited. I mean, so I'm clear over the parishes, them. So they'll come after you. And them time there, in the early 50s, before I bought my mother pregnant, them time, so we died. So it's a musical thing. And the whole family love music. Who can't sing, just love the music. So being at GBC, and seen many artists come by, the influence, like, it was getting to my system. So what I usually do, like in lunchtime, I used to go in the library, and I put on versions of songs.
Right.
Yeah, and sing over the version. So one day, this lady named Pamela, she was Dr. Ikin's wife. She was passing her singing in the studio. Like this guy named Milford Edward used to do the engineering work for me at the time.
Right.
And she said she's going to I want to produce you, But I never really believed.
Right.
No, I never believed that. So then about the Monday, but so the Friday she come and them time, Mikey J was working there. So I would build Mikey J. A lot of people don't know. The consul is me. Get the work for him.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, bill him. I was the first individual that do jingles and radio, I'm talking about station ID. I talk like jingles, like that's, catch to the fish driver Monday to Thursday or some, like that shit, dread, everything there.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this, you have to do it now. I was the first person.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
Mikey Dread, yeah. Because the day when you up to the pilot program, he said to me, why, when for do? Because I want to just use station ID and temperature and I'm saying, he said, no, we're coming some idea, man.
Right.
Let me just come up with the idea. That shit, there.
Nasty top.
Get the control. Mash up the whole place. At the time, I something fresh, people, because I said, boy, I saw some fire, I said, Mikey, something fresh. Inside of this, the time by COVID family is now 1 o'clock. People are here again, someone wants something new.
Yeah.
So the first night, in plug that man and tell the switchboard, light up.
Wow.
So when the five people go phone, people go say, I want this. People themselves play it back again. From the Mikey took off. So it was a great inspiration to I be working in Mikey too.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Edi Fitzroy, singer out of Jamaica, former accountant at JBC, and also on-air radio personality. Edi, I'm going to drop a tune called African Queen, and you're going to talk to us about this one. Hold on.
You know I love you more than anything in this whole world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Happy birthday, African Queen.
The voice of the one and only Mr. Edi Fitzroy. Edi, tell us about this African Queen song.
Well, the song at the time, you have people call women in Jamaica, some little DJ guys, and some little people call women Kudel and concubine and dirty girl. And something like that. And can still do it today too. And the woman still jump to it too. I don't understand. So I said, no, I have to write a song to uplift them. You mean? Lift them out of that depression and that disrespectful manner. So I just wrote this song African Queen. There's also a monster hit because the album that is on Check for One's album. That album also went number 1 for 17 weeks and both top 5 album charts in Jamaica. Signed by Alligator Record in New York. So that album that put me over the edge, man. Big time. All now the producers do a remix.
Right.
3 remix of the album. The last remix came out about March called Revisit. Right. The extended version.
Edi, I remember having a conversation with you one time, and I just mentioned it to Anthony Turner that back in the days when you guys were at JBC, working at JBC, even before you got on air at JBC, reggae music wasn't something that was popularly played on radio, especially during prime time. And I want you to share with us even the music of Robert Nesta Marley. Can you imagine? Bob was such an artist that, was just getting ready to, as they say, blow up worldwide. And his music wasn't being played on radio in Jamaica popularly?
Exactly, because at the time, let me tell you something, man. Where reggae music is coming from, it's from the art of the inner city, where we call ghetto. Because when I have ghetto in Jamaica, inner city, where the suffering every day, the hustling, the bustling. And nothing changed. So sometimes it upset me. Some little young guys around here who come take the music and join the music. And you have brother this jacket play these songs. In Jamaica right now, dance are dead. The band want you to again at the foundation music them people are go dance to now and want to hear on radio. They don't want to jump up nothing again. Because when they jump up music too much crime and violence behind it. And that is not reggae. That is reggae. Some little things. So when some guy said, nobody can say that. So at the time, music in Jamaica wasn't free because you can come from the ghetto and society. At the time, they looked upon Rasta and call reggae dirty music. Yes. Middle class people, upper class people call Rasta music and ghetto music, dirty Rasta music. They never like Bob. That's who Bob come from trench. So when in the mid-70s, so now, early mid-70s, yeah, they was a pretty reggae on radio too. It's me and a guy named Milford Edwards, locked through the two door, one Tuesday morning and one Wednesday morning, don't quite remember. Yeah, from 6 until 6.
6 in the morning till 6 in the evening.
That sounds like a hijack.
Police come out, police are looking the door.
That sounds like a hijack.
You understand me?
So hold on. Eddie, hold on. But you weren't on air then. I mean, why did you?
Because I just involved, because at the time, it's just a flavor of the music, I just love it.
Right.
Because they tell me to dance hard, every Friday we have dance hall, a big yard. So in your blood, and you see enough artists come to like Ken Booth and Ed Tones and the man there come to.
Right.
So it gives you a vibe, you didn't know something after sing.
So you lock yourself into the studio, you and your...
Me and Milford Edwards, yes.
6 in the morning till 6 in the evening.
6 in the evening.
What was the outcome of that story, though? Because if police had to come and beat down the door.
Yeah. When they suspend Milford, the engineer, but true, I never on here at the time. Them couldn't suspend me because them tell me no account.
Right.
And them tell my boss to fire me. And my boss said, I can't do that.
Right.
He don't do nothing. And he don't do anything wrong inside the accounts. He's under my supervision. You can't find a youth for that.
Right.
Couple of music I play. From that, the gate just open.
Floodgate.
And I'm starting to play reggae music on Radio 2. I'm Radio 2 now even become more popular than Radio 1. Because more music and less talk.
Now, describe to the listening audience, Eddie, JBC, Radio 1 and Radio 2. Radio 1 was talk radio.
You know?
Yeah.
Radio 1 was talk radio and Radio 2 was like strictly music.
Now, and when you say strictly music, give us an idea. What are some of the music that were being played on Radio 2 while reggae weren't playing?
Well, them play like Shy Lights, Shy Lights, Spinners,
Temptations,
Temptations.
Wow.
Pure guys then, the Jackson's 5.
Pure foreign music.
Pure foreign music, man. People couldn't take it no more.
Meanwhile, we have our own reggae artists, them destined to get a play and couldn't get an earplay, huh?
Couldn't get no. So they not play Bob. Bob has to buy a 15 minutes program.
Wow.
On the radio.
Wow.
On Radio 1. That's what Errol Thompson's work. That's morning. And Bob Marley buy a 50 minutes program.
Right. And
out of that 50 minutes, where Bob buy, them still don't play the man out of that.
You're kidding me.
Eh?
They wouldn't play his music?
Out of the 15 minutes that he bought on the station. When that 15 minutes done, that he buy, that's it.
Oh, boy.
And at least if a guy buy 50 minutes airtime, yeah, give him some breath out of when the 50 minutes done. Because you spend the money with the station.
And Anthony, we're talking about Jamaica, you know. We're talking about...
fight for reggae music. I am one of the pioneers behind the fight of Michael J. too.
Hold on 1 second, because I want to know who were some of the informers down there. Hold on, Eddie. Hold on.
Informer next door. Don't lie. He make a move. Go call him Babylon Adrian.
You know, it's funny, Eddie, because you mentioned at anything below Maxwell Avenue, you couldn't work certain places in Jamaica.
I'm not joking, man.
No, it's not a joking about. Hear this now. Ironically, Breadman and Anthony, that even years later, Itana did a song called Wrong Address.
Yeah.
Just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Edi Fitzroy on radio in Jamaica in the 70s. And you're talking about in the millennium. Itana is doing a song called Wrong Address. Because it's true. If you live certain places, you cannot work certain places, Anthony. And this is Jamaica.
Yep,
This is
discrimination.
now. Tell us about this Informer song now, because I wonder when JBC come to check if you live there, if there was any informer informing on them, eh?
No, because when JBC come check by my address, you know, I have a brother named Marcus.
Right.
Right? So in live I call Richmond Park. You read name? Richmond Park.
Richmond Park.
Right? So I give JBC that address. Because once I give them 39 Victoria Road, it is work. No, because them say that's criminal and thief.
Oh my God.
Could have you and even now, even right now too, you know. Certain places, certain private entities not going to employ you.
Right.
Because this old colonialism inside of them brain. You come from the inner city and you get to your thief. And every star, every superstar worldwide, them come from some inner city or worldwide you have ghetto. Because most of the artists in Jamaica were the artists at the time and we have to say that. Trenchtown.
Yes. The heart.
Yeah,
of the heart.
Trenchtown and uptown artists.
No man, the art of the music, and it's true because and then it is so funny because to get to a well-to-do community in Jamaica, this is so funny. To get to a well-to-do community in Jamaica, you have to go through what they call a so-called ghetto.
Yes.
You ever notice that, Anthony?
Yeah, man. Barbican, you have to go through.
Listen, man,
Barbican,
not just Barbican alone, man. To get to almost every upscale community in Jamaica, you have to go through a ghetto. Eddie, we're coming up.
Yeah, man.
We're coming
Barbican,
up. Yes.
Barbican, Bird Sucker, Cherry Garden. Every upscale society, community, you have to drive to a ghetto.
Yes.
Go up there, remember that.
You know, Eddie, boy, the journey of Edi Fitzroy is very interesting. I mean, you were born a first-class citizen, and they try to deny the eye of certain things. But hold on, we're coming up.
But I know there's certain artists in Jamaica now we are saying truth and right. You know. But you know what? Give them no show in a king.
I know.
And not in America, you know. As some little guy, with some I lead the people, I'm straight. And so on, to be frank, I work at Roots FM right now, and my program is just a different, total thing. Roots, rock, reggae, foundation. You don't play either thing.
I know, Eddie.
Put the people under. I don't push them further under, man.
Not at all.
Right now, the little youth, them. They don't like the conscious music too tough. I be a little under girl and sit down, panic and some little shit here, man. Some call themselves demon.
You know, Eddie, you know, and I know it's a burning thing. And Groovin Radio, we designed this program to play positive music, uplifting music. And you know, every time I turn this radio station on, 93.5 WVIP FM, and I hear certain artists' music playing, I turn it off. I turn it off.
For real?
I turn it off because, you know, I am not one of those who's going to sit down and listen to the alka wine and the alka swine and all that. No, I'm not into it. I am not.
That is not. And this is them songs, to be frank, you know, those songs, you know. And to be frank, they're worshiping the devil, you know.
Yes, and people just don't know. But Eddie, stay right where you are. The computers are going to take over. When we come back on the other side of the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to continue our conversation with this first-class citizen. No, stay right where you are, man. Stay there. Don't go. Edi Fitzroy. I know, Breadman.
Breadman, make myself your life is not a dead man.